There's also the HTTP monitor. That's the one that I think people use most often when it comes to web monitoring. First of all, we want to specify the port, 80 by default, but of course people set their web pages on different things. 8080, we'll leave 443 out for a moment, but people can put things on 1111,
The sky's the limit.
Yep. So that's the port number which is being used here as a variable, and I think people sometimes don't understand that and they hard code the port there.
Yeah, what's important here is to be able to define what that incoming value is going to be so you can kind of dynamically set it.
Right. So host header is something that I've actually not dug a lot into. So what's that all about?
So if anyone that's familiar with creating web pages, interacting with web pages, web page development, they understand what is that kind of initial communication with the web server. That information is involved in the host header. So being able to define some of that information within here and utilize that when I'm sending the request to the web server for the check.
Right, and again, what we're saying is this page up? Is it responding the way we want? So part of that is the host header coming back.
Right.
Am I doing a GET request, a PUT request, a POST, or a DELETE request? Again, if you're familiar with web page actions, that's, those are the things.
Those are all common.
Those are, yeah. If you don't know what they are, it's GET. If you're not sure, it's going to be GET. Don't worry about it.
And if not, maybe ask your web admin.
Yeah. And the same thing with redirects. Do you want to, if I'm going to http leonisawesome.com, but that redirects to something boring like leon.com or something, then that's a redirect. Do you want to follow it, or are you really trying to see if that site is up?
Correct.
Use proxy, do not use proxy. Again, if you're familiar with your web environment, you either say that you want to or don't want to use the proxies. And then if you say you want to use it, you have to give the address of the proxy.
Correct.
Now, user agent. This is one I think that a lot of users get stuck in. They play around with it, or it actually hangs them up. So what are some things that we should know about the user agent?
So the important part here is being able to essentially emulate what browser are you utilizing, right? Different browsers may potentially interact with different websites differently. And you may want to define a certain browser and interaction. Maybe your site only supports certain browsers, and you need to specifically check that browser's interaction with the website itself. So this is where you would actually define the browser itself.
So this is announcing to the page, hey, I am Chrome, or I am Internet Explorer, or I am whatever, so that the web page can respond appropriately, because the web page itself is actually saying, oh, if you're Internet Explorer, then I'm going to give you this kind of code versus if you're Firefox or what have you.
Right.
So that's great. And I can even see having the same monitor a couple of times to test each one, so that you know that, oh, it broke, but it only broke under this or that.
Right.
Okay. Search string is when you're looking on the page.
Yeah, you actually want to find text on the page specifically.
Right.
And this works with the second piece there, fail if found. So if you've actually found that string, say you're searching for something that you know will exist on the page when there's a problem that actually happens with the web page, you can actually define that search string and then say that this check is gonna fail because you did find it.
Right. So famously, one of our other head geeks, whose name I will not mention, but it rhymes with Bestany Dertucci, used this to get tickets to a concert. She went to the concert ticket sales, and it says, no, not on sale yet. And she kept searching she searched for not on sale yet, and she said, fail if not found. And she got an alert immediately when tickets went on sale that way, and she was able to get near the front row. So you can...
SolarWinds application monitor, not just for your data center.
Not just for the data center anymore, right. You can use this for all sorts of nefarious purposes. Header request, full request or headers only?
Yeah, so again, we were talking about the header definition in the beginning. So do we want to have the full request and actually check against that, or do we just simply want to submit the header?
Right, because if you have a large web page that takes a long time to load, or you just don't need to drag it across the wire every time.
Yeah, maybe the only thing we're just checking is that initial response.
Right. Once again, accept compression. We talked about that with the web link monitor. No big deal there. Authentication node. Normal pre-authentication, always authenticate.
So this is a common thing that we obviously see like in IIS servers. Is there a authentication that needs to happen to the website? So you can actually define that from here, and you're either going to authenticate or you're going to pre-authenticate.
Got it. Okay, and that is the HTTP monitor.